is Eric's working with our Tennessee Walking Woods gelding, Ed's Buckaroo. And he's trying to get him to be good about bridling. See, so he's trying to bring his head down to him. See, so you work on the little things. If you work on the little things, you know, your big problems typically won't exist. You know, if you worked on all the little things before they became a problem, you would have no big problems. But usually people ignore the little stuff. And every horse has its own idiosyncrasies. Some, this is no problem at all. They get it and they have no problem. That other ones struggle with it more. So you just have to take the time it takes with every individual horse. He's going to be beautiful. He's out of my mare Hush Hush, who we call Fancy, and Blue-Blooded Bandit. He's my real pretty gray horse. And this guy, he's a little over 3 right now in this video. So when he matures, he'll be white like his dad Bandit. He is a chestnut base color horse, and so is Bandit. And his mom was a chestnut, so you know, guaranteed this. He doesn't look like chestnut, does it? When chestnut horses have the gray gene, they are real dark. Sometimes they look almost black. And I've had people mistakenly call a chestnut horse that has a gray gene a black horse, even on their papers, because they kind of look like a bleached out black. I mean, they get dark. It's just one of the things. It's how the gene combination colors them up. But notice what he's doing here. What's he doing? He's just sitting there, and this is usually way overlooked. I've said in other videos, whenever you interact with a horse, you're a trainer. You know, whether you want to be or not, you're a trainer. And so if you hop on your horse, and like say you're going on a trail ride, and there's, you know, 4 other people with you or something, or 6 people, or 2, or whatever, it doesn't matter. And everyone's all saddled up, and you get your horse saddled, and you climb on, and you're like, let's go, let's ride, and you just take off. Well, what have you taught your horse? The minute you swing your leg over, we go. And horses like to avoid any sort of pressure or anything, and maybe you give them a little bit of leg pressure to get them to go. Okay, so next time you hop on, he's going to say, well, I know what we're doing. We're going to be riding, so I'll just take off. And so you're getting your foot in the stirrup, and he's already moseying down and then moseying out. And that could cause a problem because your leg could be not in right. You might squeeze a little with your leg, and then it goes faster. And next thing you know, you do this enough. You do this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and you've trained your horse that what you want him to do is when you swing your leg over, take off, even though it's not. And maybe you pull back on the reins, and you know, that kind of thing. So you've trained your horse to do that. So that's why you'll see us in these video after video after video. You'll see us sitting, when we swing our leg over, just sitting there. And you've got to train yourself to do that, because especially if your mindset is like, I want to go on the trail ride, or I just want to ride the horse, or maybe you had a long day at work and you just want to get out and have a nice enjoyable ride, and so you swing your leg over and you go, come on buddy, let's go. Well, you've trained them to go when you swing your leg over. And horses like to anticipate what you're going to ask. And they do that because they don't like the pressure. They don't like, and pressure is anything. Pressure is a squeeze, pressure is a cluck, pressure is, anything. It could be how fast you move towards them. It could be all sorts of things. But so they'll anticipate, and they'll move out. They'll try to. They'll just say like, "Oh, I got it. I know what you want," and they'll try to do it. And some things aren't bad at all for them to anticipate. Like for instance, if you train a horse to go open a gate, well, once they learn the motions, when you come up to a gate, the horse will saddle up next to it, get in the right position. You'll open the latch. It'll walk through. It'll turn, spin, get in the right position for you to close it, and boom, 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 it's all done. So that's a good case of them anticipating. But a lot of times it can develop into something that's not safe, And I mean, I've seen it over and over again. Like when we take horses out to another trail somewhere, I'm usually one of the last people to get them all saddled. I don't know why. I'm just slower, I guess. And my horse usually wants to take off because everyone's getting ready and moving around and everything. And and in your mind you go, I just want to get on him and go. But you got to work through the problem of them being antsy. And so I work through that. And usually to do that, you disengage their hind end over and over again. If they want to move until they want to stop, again, you change that internal voice in their mind. See, he was looking over there out of the pasture. I think there's horses moving around. I think Jake may be bringing up a mare. He's doing really well. Look at Eric's not even holding onto the reins. See, his hands are on the horn. Now see, he'll pick up if he needs to. But he's always trying to ride with less, and give the horse the benefit of the doubt. And look, see, he just did that turning. See, he's looking. See how he's looking, that subtle move? And see his leg? His right leg is out there. That's opening the door for him to go. Now, he's exaggerating it now because the horse is still learning. Eventually, it'll become very subtle. But it takes time. It takes a long time to get there. And now see how he's just leaning back. Look, his hands aren't on the rein. Now he's leaning forward, and the horse went forward. See? Well, he's doing that really well.
Yeah, he's riding good.
That's great. Once you ride a horse like this, there's no going back. There's just no going back. And think about it on the horse's point of view. Just, it's non-invasive, non-intrusive. Look at him just riding. So see, so he's just turned with his legs there. And this is where Western riding, especially in this form, I don't know all forms, but in the Vaquero style, which is what we are aspiring to and we're students of, riding off your body, your legs, your skeleton, your seat. It's so different than when, yeah, that's amazing. I know he stopped really good. English riding, they ride with contact, constant contact in the mouth. And think about it this way, eventually the horse has got to ignore it. So if he's going to ignore it, work to ignore it, why use it? That's how I think. Now, I'm not a student of English riding, so I'm not probably really equipped to talk much about it, but that's how I think. So if they can ride without all that and respond with all that, without all that, why use it? And they're going to become accustomed to it and ignore it, at some point. You know. So look at him, he's just riding off his seat totally. See his left leg there, just giving him a cue a little bit. And see, he'll lift up, like he'll take his spur and slightly lift up underneath him there to help lift him off his front end there and rock back to his back end, hind end. Look at that, just with his leg off to the side, see he's moving. So that's what we're trying to do here. These horses are really coming around. And now this horse, Buck, he's been ridden in the Santa Barbara half-breed bit. I'll show you that here. All right, this is the Santa Barbara half-breed. And but he's been ridden in that, or this bit as well. But since he hadn't ridden him for a couple of weeks, he's put them all back into the snaffle today. Yeah. He's a great horse, I tell you. And so he put him back in the snaffle because he just didn't know how they would be. And he didn't want to, he wanted to be fair to the horse. And because if they're a little rusty, you don't want to ride them in that bit. That bit is so you can be more subtle. And so he didn't want to ride him in that. So he's just in a regular snaffle here. So he's swinging the ropes around him. He's not worried about any of that stuff. And this is why you would ride like this, because your hands are going to be busy with roping and stuff like that. And so he's just backing him up there. Isn't that cool? I mean, riding basically no hands. And this is what I mean by the reins are just your last resort. And see how he wasn't backing up. He wasn't responding to him leaning back like he was. And so Buck wasn't responding. So then he went to the reins and reminded him. And he was like, oh, okay, I got that. Yeah, I understand. So now he's not even riding the reins anymore. See? This guy's doing so well. Hey, Buck.
Little
He's a little what?
unsure of this rope right here.
Yeah.
He's not freaking out. He's just wondering what to do.
Yeah, he's not sure. Boy, he's riding off your body really well. How's he feeling?
Feels great.
Yeah, he said he feels great. Look at that. So that's all off his body. Look at that. Isn't that great? Kevin's behind me. He's going, oh, wow. We're all just so impressed. We just love this stuff. I mean, can't get enough of it. Look at that. I got to practice roping because I couldn't rope a rope if you asked me to. I got to practice. And this is why, like, why you desensitize a horse a little bit. We don't do as much desensitizing either, because you want your horse to be sensitive. You just don't want them to blow up and lose their mind. You want them to. Oh, look at that. Good job, dude. It's awesome. You don't want them to, like, lose their mind and leave the country. But other than that, you want them sensitive. And so you see these. I got a book. I'm not going to slam it or anything, but it's like on bomb-proofing a horse, and I just think you're dulling the horse out. You know, I kind of get it sounds like it would work and it makes sense, but I think you're better off just getting the horse to really trust you, because a horse that really trusts you is not going to get bothered by any of this kind of stuff. Yeah. All the horses are carrying on because Jake just took Annie out. He's going to ride her. So, like, if you're wondering if Tennessee walking horses are versatile horses, there you go. You know. Look at that, just, the ropes going all around. He's cool. This is because he trusts Eric. You know. It's what you want to do. You want to build trust in him. And if you've seen some of the other videos of him working with Buck, I mean, from the very beginning, and riding in a rope halter, like yeah, not today, huh? It ain't happening. When you've seen the other videos of us starting him in rope halters and all that stuff, and this is where he's been through this, and look at him, look at that. He's just like, okay, no problem. He may take the rope out of your hands and try it himself. Here, you know what I mean? He might just do that. I think he'd turn white before I got my rope around that right now with my skill set with the roping. He'd look like Bandit, be like 4 years from now or whatever, you know. But yeah, you look in the background, you can see there's Goldie hanging there. And she's in, I think she's in one of our other videos, hanging a horse. You can see her back there. Yeah, she's right back there. Anyhow, that's what we do after we work with them. They get hung, and that really's good, because if we were to get done training them and then put them in their stall right away or out in the pasture right away, you got to think about it from the horse's point of view. So the horse's point of view is, he's like looking, oh, okay, I'm in my stall or I'm out in the pasture, I'm off. So what did I last do that got me off, like got me to be off the clock like that, right? And so if it was jigging around a little bit, swishing their tail, who knows what thought they had in their mind. And if you put them right out or put them in their stall and feed them or whatever, they're gonna make the connection. So the next time you start training them, they're gonna want to get to the stall even quicker. So they're gonna be searching their mind for, what did I do last? And this is how horses will start to act up and act out, because they want to just get back to their stall and be off. And so hanging them like that, like we do over there, like Goldie is, see her? That breaks the connection. And so they think, when they're done being trained in the round pen here or out in their ride, we do it after we ride too, they're just going to stand there for a while. So they think, I'm in no rush to just be standing there. So it breaks their connection. And then the reverse is true. So when they're hanging, when they're nice and calm hanging, we then put them in their stalls or out in the pasture, and they're off, and they go, oh. So they make a connection. When I stand here still, I get put away and I get to eat, or I get to take a nap, or I get to go out in the pasture with my friends. And so you're building in training a good behavior. And why is that good? Well, if you ever go on a trail ride somewhere, a lot of times you have to tie your horse somewhere. And wouldn't it be nice to have a horse that stands calmly, like these ones are? Wouldn't it be nice to have them like that, where they just stand there and are relaxed? Yeah, it's really useful. And so it's all part of about training a good horse, a good riding horse, good companion. So, what he's trying to do here is to get him to back up and not follow him in, see, because he wants to undo that rope there. And see, this is hard for Buck, because Buck, likes to be around him. He's his buddy. He looks to Eric as a leader, and so now he's calling him. Okay, see, he's calling because you don't want him to just keep failing. You want him to now he's trying to get his attention. See, Annie's off in that pasture with or out on the driveway with Jake. So he undid it. So that's a win. Win-win. Should people subscribe? They should. Hey, smash that like button and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.